that in their back pocket.
Yeah, and I think the thing about it is we've seen a lot of teams that, you know, when we talk about rotation percentages, in particular ones that are very good, like we're currently seeing on screen for New York, it's not just about getting your ARs into position. It's also make sure you're getting a read on where these hits are coming from.
Yeah.
You know, I think for you and I in particular, we watched a lot of challengers this last week, and we saw tons of teams that were rotating early, but not putting themselves in the best positions, and it allowed for very quick and very simple breaks, which you really shouldn't see. So we'll see if that will be the case here, if New York will struggle with that, or if they'll just kind of keep being more proficient across the hard point map pool. First opener, it will be New York in the hard point, but kills go the way of Miami.
Yeah, Miami's spawned on the preferred side, all through towards this P1 and the P2 chain. So New York, they try to send it all throughout bottom comms. And unfortunately, Miami make them pay for it. So it's already 10 seconds that they're walking away with at P1. Hydra wins a big one-on-one on Vehicle, but you can already see on your mini-map, Kismet the Bulldog trying to be the playmaker to flip those spawns.
So far, just a mixy affair, but like you mentioned, focus on rotation here for New York. Good kills from Sib right inside the hard point, which will allow New York not just the opportunity to rotate, also the scrap time coming through. Hydra has pulled out an extra AR, one responsible for the right side push, and Miami largely trying to focus their attention this direction, and Hydra has been very implaceable. Good reposition, good follow-up from Kismet, and it's a 3-for-1 affair.
Yeah, that's good work right there from the subliners to read that early aggression coming in from Miami all through the front end. They find a clean 4 dead, and now Miami are forced to hit the reset. What kind of routes do we decide to take? New York know that they do not have warehouse control, so we got to play this one a little bit deeper. As the rest of Miami Heretics, they're overextended, trying to push through that water side, trying to push through bottom middle, but subliners have a read on it, and they've been able to hold it down to the team.
Yeah, pretty much perfect. Nice shots from Metals, but Hydra keeps his life. Backs on up right over towards the staircase, and he's got help around him. Beagle, back window, Kismet watching, and yeah, absolutely perfect. So one more to find. Eric Boom will drop, and once more, subliners looking clean with it over the top of P2.
And now they're starting to get aggressive. They know that Miami obviously are going to spawn at the new hill, but we can take a couple positionings, and that's exactly what Hydra was able to do. You find yourself towards stop. Snow, unfortunately, cannot find the 6th kill in a row to earn that cruise missile. But the subliners with a full 60 hold, they're now forced to break in towards Miami. And just the way that Miami are set up, they are building layers. They are forcing New York subliners to fight through the middle of the map before they can even contest towards the hill.
Kismet, big win up top towards Snow. They know Lucky's playing over towards Stacks. He will also drop good damage from Hydra, allows a very easy finish from Kismet. No trophy system here for Kiz, so he's got to kind of mind his life a little bit. Good shots from Metals over the top, but Skies from the low ground, he's gonna find 2, and once again we find ourselves New York coming on top of the kills, Miami having a tough time holding, although they will spawn back up in place.
Yeah, that's a good thing that they still have those spawns, so you're able to reinforce quickly, find a trade onto Hydra. Sib is able to contest, but this final 25 is gonna be yours. They needed a response at the P2 to get back into the game, and this is a good enough response to take the lead by a little bit. But now you are forced to break in towards the P4. You see the way that New York is set up. Everyone is watching a lane. You have Hydra already pushed out towards top Snow, just trying to make it easier for his teammates, or at least give some comms on where they're trying to attack from.
But reasonable bounce back here for Miami. Beagle just waiting to see if he can catch just the top of Kismet's head. Lots of damage is tallied, but not enough for the elimination. Finally, a couple of the trades come through, and more importantly, Metals has kind of snuck through. Does he find Sib up top? Yeah, very well done. But problem is, New York will still spawn up. Trade comes out, and outside of the fall of the opening setup, New York can get right back into the hard point.
Yeah, that's just tough right there, because Metals, he was trying to make the play through top cat. He finds 2, but since his teammates are still pushing towards the left side of that P2, and you had one player over towards comms, New York are still going to get those close spawns in towards the back. So it's a great individual play, but not enough to get the break. As the rest of the teammates now are in a position to reinforce. You have water street control, but you have to win a couple gunfights if you want to stay strong on this side. Wow. That's 3 to New York. They hold on.
And it's moments like that, I think, that we really look back to this 4-0 start for New York here in stage 2 and say, okay, maybe they're back, right? Like, that's a very tough manage to get back in for the scrap time. It's clean. I mean, it's, again, near perfect, which is a word we've said a couple of times now on a map that they don't play very often. So you have to be really impressed, I think, with what we're seeing from New York. Rotating over to 5, though. Again, Miami not out of this game by any stretch of the imagination. Just down 20 points, and they will open Phil Tarpoint to their name.
Yeah, they're the team initially just started off. Great plays out of Lucky to find the initial 2 kills over towards that P2 side. They are still holding on, but you stiff out Lucky. Now you know there's 1 player on the point. Last player all spawn. That's 3 dead. New York find the break, and now Miami have to find a way back in. But Eric Boom with that 2 might be just enough to do it.
Kismet still holding the front door, waiting to see if there's going to be a challenge through, and Lucky sees him as he jumps over the tractor inside 5. So that'll be enough for the kill to come out, and Eric still on a double. Tries to get into the hard point, but doesn't predict the New York hit. So Lucky now the one kind of called upon to try to save the day. Team Nate will help out his efforts, but Kismet, Sib clean up everything around it, and once more New York find a way to crack the code in the last 15 seconds or so.
And this final 20 can be big because New York, they're on the preferred side as well, so they can chain a little bit over towards the P1. You already have Hydra pushed out towards bottom. Comms can't win that gunfight. Great shots right there from Lucky, but the rest of the reinforcements still holding down these power positions. Can Skies find the third? Wow. Yes, he can. Great shots out of him. It's just set up New York to get on this initial time, but you still have a couple players from Miami contesting, not making that possible.
That vehicle stuck currently top staircase. Hydra gets the read on it and then tries to push forward to make sure no other Heretic members can find their way towards the hill, but not going to work out. Kismet also dealt with on rotation here, so hold the phone. Miami cooking with a little bit of gas all of a sudden in the time, looking to rotate over to 2. Problem is they can't quite find Skies in time, so everything goes back towards neutral, but the hard point spawns have moved around, favoring Miami, setting up towards the left side of the map.
Yeah, this is perfect if you are Miami. Great job from Lucky to come out on top in that final engagement. He wins that gunfight. He allows his team to spawn on the preferred side of the map, so the subliners are now forced to break in towards P1 and try to rotate through the front end of P2. Great team shots, great crossfire set up by Skies to start off with that one. Final 10 is going to be theirs, but it's all about this fight through the front. Can Miami hold him off?
And you need someone else besides Lucky to start having themselves a bit of a game. Everyone else near double negative or pretty darn close to it. Eric Boone from the side door. Easy one on towards Skies. Transfers down to Kismet. Perfect double from him. Sib up top really can't challenge this, but look at the spawns. New York, they haven't let Hydra exist. They will flip things out. Now Eric is one of the last ones standing as Miami try to put together the hold. New York not quite able to crack the code yet, but the kills are coming and they're coming quickly. 40 seconds still to fight for.
Yeah, and that just can't happen if you are Miami. You do everything right, but not locate the final player. He stays alive so long, he spawns your teammates out, and then it's an easy break for the subliner. Sib did not move from top player house the entire time. He knew that his teammates had those back spawns. They were going to trust him to hold down that top position, and it's worked out to perfection. Final 25 is going to be theirs. You still have Sib on a 4, about to potentially be 5 in a row. Actually, it's going to be Hydra on 5 in a row, so if you allow them there in the cruise missile, they're going to be able to break this one with ease.
Yep, they definitely have the setup for it. Last 10 seconds will go their way. Now it's just about finding a chance to break, and we'll tune in with the subliners comms to see if they can manage it.
Docks in your vehicle.
Hey, Martin bunker, I'm waiting for you guys. I see him dog. Bunker in the middle. He's right there. Back docks, vehicle. I kill it. I'm in the back, I'll kill the guy now. Back play. He's in the water, in the water. Water, I don't see him. There's one P2 here. Back right. Staying down here. Still back white. Still back white. Hanging out.
P2.
20 P2. Back white. I'm dead.
Nice, good job. Good time.
P2 looking. There's 20 P2 guys off. Blue white. I did it my way.
One shot top white. Top tower on you. One shot, Caesar. Absolutely.
I'm gonna try to here. Why on me? He's on you. Got me, yes. Watch out. He's at the door. He's at the top corner. We still have you. Yeah. I'll show right. He's in the back. P3. He's one shot dead. Nice shot. Maybe white. I'm gonna get right. I'll get you low white. I have low white. I got bunker.
Already have low white, I'm pretty sure.
I'm looking bunker. No, bunker's good. I got bunker. Alright, bottom white. Just maybe one shot, guys. I'm watching my one. KT. Dead. Nice shot 3. Looking for one. That's one. I'm pushing out comms. I have all right, guys. I got comms. They can only go river. Okay. I'm you can go top tower. Comms dead.
Alright, time for tribute time.
Maybe top tower. You're right. I mean, P5 Lucky.
I have barrels.
No one here, Lucky. Lucky P5. I'm gonna go rivers. Watch out.
Yeah, I'm watching my water
Lucky.
shit.
P5.
Hey, triple. He went triple side.
Heard you. I'm looking P2.
I got spawn back. I have over you.
You look to the right.
I got right then. I'm giving up comms now.
Weapons, guys.
I need weapons. One's behind us too. Metals mid. Barrels. He's weak.
Barrels, absolutely.
Well, New York once again find ways to make life terribly difficult for Miami, but Heretics are still hanging around here, Jay. I mean, it's not pretty, but it's not impossible. Problem is, these last 20 seconds may make this a bit more out of reach.
Yeah, I think the turning point of the game already was Miami Heretics. They're rotating over towards P3, but the fact that New York were only able to allow Miami to walk away with 20 seconds, that's good enough work because they win the rotation over towards P4. Now they find themselves up by 60 to 70 points. Now over towards the P5 we go. Miami have a tall ladder to climb to get back into this game, but keep in mind, Hydra still has that cruise missile. It's time to invest it.
That told Miami has found maybe their most success here on the 5th hardpoint cruise missile, not able to actually connect because Sib found the kill beforehand. Kismet clean shots, now into the pistol, knows there's one more player behind the tank. No worries, plus the transfer up towards vehicle. I mean, it just feels like he knows where everyone is at all points in time. Nades being cooked up. Miami trying to hit this through warehouse, which is not where you want to be, and this is the exact reason why. Unreal. I mean, again, it was one of those moments where it was a close game pretty much throughout, but like we mentioned, those last 2 hard points just too clean from the subliner.
Yeah, subliners just started to pull away. And you best believe, if you're a professional team, even though you might not play a map a lot in your professional matches, in practice, they are getting reps on this one. So even in the listening, they sound like they knew exactly what was going on. Kismet was in control of the spawns, and that's why they're going to be able to walk away with this game one here shortly.
Yeah, it just feels like every critical moment, subliners are finding the right decisions, the right calls, and then more importantly, they keep putting Miami in the worst possible spot to try to break these hard points from. It's just good map manipulation. And yeah, it was one of those maps you look back on and say it was close until it wasn't. Heretics finding a way to stay in it, but yeah, it's those last 2 hard points that things really got out of hand.
If you think about it, when we get to the second half of that game, Miami, they were the team initially getting that peak one time, right? And then they find the break, they were able to flip those spawns. So that's everything that you want going into a P2. But then when you allow the subliners to break you at P1 and apply pressure through the front side of P2, you were able to withstand that. But when you leave that last player alive in Hydra, he's able to influence those spawns for not only his team, but your team as well. He spawns them all the way across the map. It's just an easy break for the subliners. That P2, they gotta go back and look at that, because it just can't be that easy for the subliners to break there and then contest it at P3, win the rotation at P4, and then eventually close out the game at P5. Just a better game plan from the subliners. Obviously, when you're slaying the way that you were, everyone positive on the side of New York. The only one that was sort of positive was Lucky. He tends to slow down towards the later half of the game, but Miami Heretics, the guns were not warm in game 1.
Yeah, and Eric Boom not finding quite the damage you would like to see, especially considering he was rocking the Rival 9 for the majority of the map, where you really couldn't say the same thing for New York. It was pretty much 4 ARs from start to finish. So, you know, again, you have to give a little bit of credit. Miami hanging with a very tough team, but it is one of those situations that you have to give a lot of more credit, I think, over towards the subliners. Their ability to kind of, again, just if you were to put like a time of possession around the heat map of the map,
it didn't matter which the player was. Like, we saw 4 ARs. If you're Miami Heretics, we got to put that Rival 9 away in certain situations, because you're not getting any close range engagements. You're only getting long distance gunfights, so you would prefer the opposing weapon in those situations. But a little too late for that one. Now you are forced to now win the search and destroy on Invasion, where we saw New York last week put on an absolute masterclass versus Atlanta FaZe. And I just couldn't stop talking about it, because these guys are literally making next level plays. They are putting trophies at sites that they're not even playing, just so you can get the opposing team to invest their tags, thinking that someone is in that position. And on a map like Invasion, if you're throwing tags at B, you're expecting someone, especially if it gets hit by a trophy, someone is going to be playing in a position at that site. But their game plans are so next level, they are forcing themselves to give it up, use your trophies, and our gunnies to retake it with Hydra hitting flanks, Kismet working his way around the map maneuvering. If you are Miami Heretics, you need to be able to bounce back here on this Invasion search. And I know it's going to be tough, because they did just recently lose this map all the way into game 5. And the way that New York have been playing, like, they are one of the best S&E teams in the game. You have to be able to bounce back here.
And on top of that, when we talk about not just how New York played the map, it was one of those situations that they outclassed Atlanta, who at the time would have said that they were the chess masters of playing an Invasion Search and Destroy. The ability for them to work in very unconventional timings. So when you kind of compare just the weight of what New York has been able to do, masterclass mentally, strategy has been out the window when it comes down to how they've been able to put together not just the 6-0 they found, but then, like you mentioned, the 6-4 here. It does feel like just how both these two teams approach Search and Destroy, there is a pretty major difference. And for Miami, that's not great news, especially considering that you've won, what, 1 map in your last 7 in Search and Destroy. Granted, a couple losses have been close, but still, you got to find a way to win these maps.
You have to find a way to win this one specifically, because you're going into your own major, most likely starting off in losers bracket, just because of the way that their schedule was. You start off the stage by playing Toronto, then right after that you play Atlanta, then the following series you go up 2-0 versus Vegas Legion and you get reverse swept. That's tough. Then the last series that you just played, you went you went down 2-0 versus LAT. You almost complete the reverse sweep, and you're losing all the way in round 11. So we could be talking completely different about this Miami Heretics team if they walk away with at least their final 2 matches. They're sitting at 2-2, but sitting at 0-4, you're going into your own major. Something's got to give. You have to show some fight.
Yeah, in some mode too. I mean, we're seeing it come across the streaks, like 6 loss streak overall in series. Hasn't been particularly great in Search. Granted, again, some of the losses were tight. The map 5s have been no ice essentially anywhere. And I think the bigger thing about the graphics that are popping up is, hey, yeah, they may rank 12th in a couple of statistics, in particular opening duels, they're 12th. But the thing is, when they find opening duels, they are converting them third best in the league. It just comes down to don't get blooded. Find a way to either manipulate the map in a way that you don't get blooded in the first 30, or just delay the inevitable first engagement to where you can start to play it around the objective. Because objectively speaking, when it comes to getting the bomb down or not allowing the bomb to get down, they're one of the best in the league. So just find ways to stay alive longer in these rounds.
Yeah, especially on the defensive end, because that's where they're struggling the most. We're talking about 12th and overall at finding the first blood. On a map like Invasion, if you're not getting that first blood, on a map where the defense is really hard to get through, you can only basically attack one site every single time, and that's the majority of the time over towards A, unless you got the tax, so no trophy system is going to work over towards that B site. You got to get that first blood, and I know you said that they are great when it comes to not allowing that bomb plant to go down, but specifically on Invasion, they're overall 11th, so they give the bomb plant up a lot. They're just great on their retakes, which is 4th overall, so got to stay strong in that category.
All right, I was gonna say, let's really get to the edge of our seats here, friends, and really break this one down. But this round, already, Miami not living up to what needs to be done. Not staying alive in the first, not just 30 seconds, the first 3 seconds. Opening frag nades will land, smoke out, and Hydra is getting aggressive. You've got one player defensively in metals trying to play up towards Cafe, but this bomb is gonna get planted. Do they get the kill off the exit? No, not even that. We got a 3v2.
Yeah, Miami, they read the play perfectly. They were aggressive up through the B street. Vico makes it a 3v3, but I would have liked to see metals rotate back and contest that bomb site. Once he falls, it's now 30 seconds left. Up to Lucky and Vico to try to clutch on up. Vico's positioning now. No, and now it's time for Kismet to find his final. Subliners off the back of the first blood in the first 3 seconds. They shut down Eric Boom. They know that he's their most aggressive player. He's probably the guy that's going to be playing around Cafe. Let's just take care of that bomb site, put it down, win the round. New York up 1-0.
And I think that what we've seen from New York in particular, we saw it a lot on High Rise. When they do get first blood, they're not going to let you reset up your defense. They're going to say, this is where it was. Let's hit that. Let's get aggressive. Let's really take advantage of the map. And right there, it's not just doing that. It's also followed up by a very quick bomb plan. So great stuff to start for New York.
And that's the good stuff about the good teams in Search and Destroy. Whenever you get an ounce of information, you're instantly going to be able to capitalize on it. And the subliners show it there in round number 1, but into the round number 2, Miami doing a nice little split setup. But you see the subliners, everyone's in towards the Cafe.
Oh, good kill from Eric, and follow-up from Lucky's decent, considering that Hydra only got credit for the trade off of his frag. So we're going to go into a 2v3 situation. Metals has already worked through the B street. Thing is, he would have to kind of come back and re-clear mid, because you still have Sib watching the mid cut through Dark. And if this 1v1 goes the way of New York, this could be a very tricky spot for the Heretics to try to recover from.
Yeah, because Sib has no idea that Metals is going to be behind him. Actually, Metals is going to go for the full wrap and catch Hydra off guard. So now it's Sib left in a 1v3. He has to check his back, has to check his front. Where are they coming from? They're actually right next to him, already at the B side. He is going to get sniffed out, and Miami stays strong on their attacking rounds. This time you open up with the first blood. Even though it does get traded, you respond with another. So you put yourself in the man advantage. You allow Metals to find the timing to get past Sib. Then get that kill onto Hydra. And then in the 3v1, it's just too much stuff for him to look at. Miami tied the game up by 1.
Yep. And that will obviously play a little bit of effect towards how New York wants to set up their next defense. The 3-man stack in towards mid and Cafe. Don't anticipate seeing that too often. Just trying to catch Miami a bit off guard early. But as that's pushed aside, surely we'll see something more default next time through. But before we do that, New York back onto the offense. This time, just don't die to frags if you're Miami. So far, so good. Cheeky little wallbang position from Hydra does confirm some information on Eric playing forward, and New York look like they want to try to isolate this.
Yeah, that was a nice little spot right there at a Hydra. Definitely using that going forward into rank, but unfortunately, Eric Boom makes it across, and he ends up finding the first blood. So already Miami making up for their terrible first blood percentage on defense. Now you're in the man advantage. You're forcing New York to try to make a play. Eric's trying to throw a couple shoulders, able to get some info, just going to play his life.
Skies, meanwhile, has also been seen on this cross through mid. Shots coming out of metals kind of gives us that signification that that's been the case. Late utility coming out. Stun will land. Semtex won't for Eric. And so now he's got to kind of play a 1-for-1 corner, which is hoping that metals can help him out at least somewhat on this crossing angle through dark.
Yeah, this is a beautiful crossfire setup. At least you're going to be able to give the comms to your teammate to let them know exactly where the pressure's coming from. Eric Boom finds his second. Meadow eventually strikes, finds the third. That was Hydra left in the 1v4. He does take down Eric, but with only 25 seconds left, you just need some premium shoulder work, a little salsa through the middle alley, and just stay alive. Okay, 1v2.
maybe a chance, but no, really well done by Miami. And it's not just the fact that you're transmitting information to Eric, hey, here's 2 coming your direction. He gets 1 and gets away long enough for a second to come through behind it. So when you talk about just trying to envelop the hit, Miami execute that perfectly on their behold.
Yeah, because once they get that first blood, you see all of the rest of New York. They're still putting pressure over towards the B Street. With only 40 seconds left, they're not going to decide to rat back towards Cafe with no information gained. They're going to play for the guy that they know exactly where he is. But unfortunately, the setup right there from Miami was just too strong. As they take 2 rounds in a row, but back to the attacking side they go. This time the subliners. Are they going to try to get aggressive in towards the Cafe again? Nope. A little bit different this time around.
Yeah. This is more close to what we saw kind of as their quote-unquote default when they were playing up against Atlanta. Kismet helping at range over the middle of the map. Hydra playing a little bit closer. Nade out, will not tag nor receive any information on towards where that defender is, and that's the setup that we saw versus Atlanta. Eric trying to get frisky over towards A. He gets caught, and now all of a sudden Miami are a bit stuck with not a lot of options.
Yeah, so Miami now in the 3v4. A minute left on the game clock and decides to just full-on send it in towards the mid-tank. Don't know if they have the Hydra's right around the corner, but the gunny is strong for Vikul. He's able to make it a 3v3. 45 seconds left. Kismet, though, he's able to find a trade.
And he gets away. And wouldn't you know it, he's predicted his exit to a really perfect position. Vikul also stunned over towards Dark, and Kismet, whoa, a little turn on towards Lucky. Vikul in a spot, though, at all. Beautiful transfer, gets him 2. So now 3 in a row for Vikul, working on what would technically be a 1v3. Skies is trying to rotate over, but he's not fully committing to this, just kind of watching both things at once. And Vikul, who's unsure if Skies has made the full cross, is going to see him at mid-map. Shots are in, but no contact. Fully committed for the elimination. Vikul should be able to get this plant off.
He should be able to, but he's just going to play for the timing on the kill.
Wow.
He's going to check wrong, and now he has to commit to the bomb plant, but Skies plays this perfectly in the one-on-one with the full rotation back to the street. Just catches Vikul off guard. He plays for the kill through mid-core. He's not there. I have to stick the bomb plant. But the route right there to Skies. The patience to make sure he uses his tax to slow him down, waste every single second on that game clock, was just enough for him to stop the bomb plant, and New York secured the defense.
And you want to talk about possible micro moments that influence that decision from Vikul? If he doesn't get tagged by Skies going in towards that car, he's maybe thinking Skies isn't going to try to push for me because I'm a one-shot right now, and maybe he commits for that plant a bit sooner, but
yeah,
not to happen. So those little extra hit marker tags from Skies could have played a massive decision-making difference, as now New York in a 2-2 split. Heading right back over towards B. Very similar setup here for Miami overall.
Needs to have Meadows watching the cross, or at least Vikul this time around. Eric Boom in the same position towards the cages. This time New York are looking like they're going to be a lot more aggressive. And that's going to be Skies opening up, being the island player, finds the first blood onto Meadows through the middle of the map. Now they're trying to solo out Eric Boom. Position is known. He has to try to play his life.
Yeah, there's just nowhere for him to go.
Yeah.
Again, cause and effect of that first blood coming out of Kismet deep. Trade from Vikul decent. Kismet playing very aggressively up towards the ice cream door. But he's going to kind of have to watch 2 things at once here. He's watching to see if anyone's going to come through Dark. And meanwhile, Lucky's right around the corner. So we get a 2v2. Both of these gunfights could be isolated into individual 1v1s. Vikul's going to get seen, but Skies isn't there initially. But Hydra provides the kill. Skies right behind. Lucky tagged up. Nowhere to go. And the post-plant hold is good.
Yeah, that's just too easy for the subliners. You find the first blood. You isolate Eric Boom. Then even though it does turn into a 2v2, you saw the positioning of Skies. He was just simply giving the comm to Hydra. If anyone was going on the flank, he was ready for that first gunfight. Then he gets aggressive up on the tank to set up the team shots onto Lucky. It's good stuff right there from the subliners to slowly work their way up. But like I said, whenever they get an ounce of information, they capitalize on it. And now they're up 3-2.
Yeah. And again, how important the first bloods have been from Kismet. Nade in the first round. Long-range shots on the first defensive round. This one, again, just at range. I mean, it's just so hard to predict him. If he's going to be using an SMG or an AR, both are options. And now New York looking to get aggressive again on the defensive side. They've got Kismet up and early in towards Broken with a little bit of help here from Sib. Very heavily focused over towards the B side of the map.
And now this is going to be way more difficult for Miami to even work up towards this B Street. How much time do they want to waste trying to isolate Kismet in towards bottom Broken? The payback just be not to contest it. We're going to go right through the cafes. The rest of the teammates are starting to work through that side of the map. Yeah, Eric Boom throwing shoulders, but keep in mind that bomb is still in towards top blue, so that's 40 seconds to wipe off the game clock. You gotta start moving if you're heretics. Here comes the smoke.
Full flood right through it. Hydra just hoping he can find some good timing, and he does. Help from Sib initially to get the first blood. Hydra now smoking himself back, and he's got Eric low. Tries to chase him down, but draws the line in the sand. Doesn't want to overextend. Number situation is decent. Kismet still hunting. Little shaky to start, but not to finish. Oh, okay, the Bulldog with the final 2, and New York growing some daylight.
Just comes down to Kismet taking that position against Horse Broken. Miami did not want to contest them. They say, screw it, we're going to work right up the middle of the map. But the trades were there. The setup was there from the subliners, and the SMGs are in the right spot. As Hydra and Kismet combined for a couple kills there, shut down that push from Miami. Now they're starting to pull away in this S&D. Up 4-2, back on the attacking side. We have to see an adjustment from Miami on their defense, because if New York keep on isolating one player, they're going to keep on taking that positioning, especially when you're gifting them a first blood through the middle of the map.
Yeah, absolutely. So 2-round gap. Hydra, couple of shots, as I think he may have seen Lucky go extended over through the bridge side of the map. And if that's the case, expect to see New York try to overwhelm the B side of the map, especially with how far forward Sib has already gotten. This should be a green light special to be.
Just got to realize where everyone else from Miami is going to be set up. Lucky keeps Hydra at bay over towards the Water Street. You set up Metals for the first blood. So now the subliners in a 3v4 have to take their time. Sib's already pushed up in towards Broken. Now Sky's going to join his teammate. And they're just going to send it out towards B, try to isolate this time Vico.
They have to watch this defensive rotation through Dark, though. This is still not a comfortable position for anyone. Beagle playing his life back tractor. Eric Boom has made his presence known off the Dark Cross. And Sky's just trying to watch it. Here comes a double hitter on the back. Beagle's doing really well to keep his life. My goodness. And then standing even stronger finds the follow-up kill. Sib cannot try to play for the trade. He's low. And now all of a sudden New York is trapped. Feels like they may have missed a window there after that battle over towards Bridgeside.
Just came down to Vico staying alive for as long as he did. It was him and his best friend in that trophy system was keeping him alive. Making sure those attacks were not going to be felt, but all the shoulders, all the dance moves around the tractor to eventually find the first blood. And then you put it into a 2v4. Your teammates are already working pinches. You have Dark Watch. You also have a deep cross watch from the backside of Palace. That was just way too easy for Miami after getting that first kill to set up around that pinch, to put them in a trap and clutch up on that defensive round. Great work right there out of Vico. Now down 4-3, but you need to have a response for this attacking round. You see Kismet cross over towards Broken. We got to make a decision and make it quick.
New York off the get-go, hard stacked over to the middle of the map. Vico has seen one player move over, but I don't think he saw Sib also playing pretty tight here on this B setup. Looking to bounce a nade over towards Dark. That won't land. Kismet still holding his ground as Metals gets to work trying to flush him out.
Oh, he might have made the perfect play to catch Kismet off guard. So all you have to do is check this right corner. You're going to walk away with the first kill. He slides and reads it perfectly. Great jobs again out of Metals. 2 rounds in a row now where he finds that first kill. Miami instantly in the 4v3.
And Sib is beyond on his own right now. Smoke comes through, tries to predict the hit's going to go the opposite direction, and he would have predicted wrong. Eric for the first kill, decent on this breakthrough attempt. 4v2 should be a post plant unless Skies can find someone on the plant. Not quite. Vico will get the bomb down.
Yeah, it's a 4v2, and at this B site, this is not going to be easy to do. You have to try to strap on your Superman cape to get this one done. And you still have a couple nades to work with, but on the opposite side from Miami, they have a couple. They take down Skies. Now it's Hydra left in a 1v4.
Gonna be able to catch Lucky, but that's mutual information. Nice little jump shot from Lucky. Pogo sticks his way over the car, finds the kill, and it's a flawless round for Miami. That's a big bounce back. I will say I think the round previous to this one, New York may have missed a window on the read of what the defensive setup was, but this offense for Miami is exactly what the doctor ordered.
Yeah, you just had to take down Kismet until it's broken. You take down their most aggressive player, you know that at least 2 players are going to be over towards A, and Sib loves to play around that B point. So to get that first blood, you send it in towards B, you find the second kill, you get the bomb down. 4v2 retake at B is basically impossible. As they chain a couple rounds in a row, able to tie the game up at 4. Now this is where those adjustments and those mid-game plays have to be shown different. And Subline is already starting off. 4 players this time around. No one islanding over towards the left side.
Heavy nades come through, of course, nothing tagging. Eric, the one playing over towards that Dark Cross. He just needs to read information. You got a double stack of defenders for Heretics over pretty aggressively at A. They could try to rewrap this play. It just comes down to how much does Eric see here.
Hopefully he's able to see a lot because the subliners are using a lot. Right up into B we go. You're not going to force Miami Heretics for a 4th overall on this map to retake over towards B. They're trying to set up a couple players to work through the middle of the map to potentially set up that pinch, but they're getting shut down by Skies. New York still haven't yet to commit to the bomb plan.
Yeah.
All right, it's going down.
And this is such a tall ask here for a retake for the Heretics. You've got Skies watching the long flank. Yeah, Metals is taking the scenic route, but he's not going to get here in time to influence this bomb plan. Or rather diffuse, I should say. Sib watching DVD Alley, catches Eric, no worries. Metals will find Skies, but is not a part of this retake play anymore. It has to come down to what Beekle and Lucky can do from the front. Decent shots from Beekle. Sib bouncing back over, keeps him at bay. Take the focus back towards Metals. Not able to finish him off. Now the hit from Lucky from the front. He's going to have to be able to isolate this and try to get this defuse underway, but he's shut down by Kismet, who can now just play the clock. 1v1 with Beekle, time has expired, and Kismet finds the win because why not?
Oh, that round all falls into the hands of Sib. The fact that he's able to finesse around that broken area. He starts up with the first kill, but then stays alive just enough to find the trade after Hydra gets picked apart through mid-dark. I don't know how he was able to stay alive in that gunfight, but he wins that second engagement. He stalls out more of that game clock to set up Kismet to win the one-on-one, and there's just not enough time for Vico to stick that defuse. As New York are able to pull away, there was not a single player from Miami over towards that B site. And New York read that to perfection, as now they're at game point.
What do you call here for Miami? You had a flawless round last time executing towards B, but outside of that, offensively, it's been a little bit of a struggle. And New York are not going to do anything too crazy. It's just an under 2-2 split. You've got Sib over towards Ice Cream, just kind of watching what I imagine is a pixel peek on the cross. Sky's doing the same thing on the bridge side, and then you've got two players floating mid. This is a tough setup to break down.
Yeah, this is definitely tough if you're Miami, because you get no info right off the rip. The only player you know is that Skies is consistently be playing over towards the water street. That's already been a consistent factor. Now that's 30 seconds knocked off the game clock. Vico already finds himself up towards cages. Hydra's going to commit towards this gunfight through the middle of the map. He has Eric Boom trapped. Metal's going to try to at least come assist him.
And this is all about, can Sib find the angle over towards B, because the bomb has committed while a kill comes through in the backside from Hydra. Here comes the play, door peaked. Sib can't quite stop things initially, but does find the pick on Navikal. Lucky committing towards the plant, has to play his life, but can't get away. And in the same breath, another kill through mid-map comes through for Hydra. So it's a flawless defensive round, and New York take another 6-4 win on the invasion search and destroy.
Oh, man, that's tough if you are Miami. New York just said, screw this. We're not going to give you any ounce of information to start off the round. You have to beat it with one of your strategies. And when you allow the subliners, more specifically Hydra, to take up that right side of the street, get that first blood by just finessing around that mannequin area. He gets the first kill, and at that point, Miami, they're already committed at that B site. There were two players on that side, though. It was Sib standing in towards Ice Cream, cracking the door, making sure he had that angle, and then Kismet this time whips out the AR to help him a little bit. But once you get that first blood on the back end, you force Miami to start to focus on their flank. You have to focus on your front. You have to focus on so many different angles. And New York, with everyone alive, just had everything covered. They walk away with the search and destroy 6-4, and now they're up 2-0 in the series.
Yeah, really clean stuff again from New York. And again, I don't think you could look at any of those rounds. We'll say, you know, the 3 offensive rounds they had, the 3 defensive rounds they had, and say that any of those rounds looked the same as another. Like, very different setups across their defensive holds. Aggression sometimes, not so much others. Offensively, heavy hits on one side of the map, a little bit of finessing through the middle, a couple others. It's just, it's hard to get a read on what New York wants to do because of how versatile they've been. And I think that, again, just kind of goes to show that this is a team that is to be taken very seriously. As now we're going to go to a very interesting point of contest, the invasion control. We've only seen New York play this map once, and it was a long time ago. Very good LA Thieves team on this map mode combo at that point in time. So any daylight here, Jay, in your mind that Miami could send this to a 4th with the win here?
They definitely can, but like, based off the sub base and number one, like New York, they don't show it in matches, but they're definitely getting reps in scrim. So I'm only excited to see what they bring new to the table, because the last time they played was LAT, and when they were the best team at that one. So we'll see.
Yep. Well, it's been a tough qualifying stage so far for Miami. This series has not provided much hope yet. Can it start to show itself in the invasion control? Sid right there says absolutely not, as New York are looking firmly in control to this point. We'll have the invasion control when we come back after this.
Upgrade your game with the Scuff, the official controller of the Call of Duty League. The Call of Duty League is brought to you by Monster Energy, the official energy drink of the CDL.
wins the first gunfight, wins the second gunfight, stops the zone from getting captured.
Right now, attach Eric Boom. He's got a lot of these moments in his career. Why don't we tack on another one? The new guy? I've been doing this my whole life. Win behind everybody, though, is Dashy. Can you take down 2? Maybe 3. He gets them all as they line up for Dashy.
Symphony of a break. Hydra holds on, and my goodness, he does incredibly well to get 3. Abizi, though, doubles down, and that's enough to lock things up.
That'll be the turning point of the game, man. Atlanta face starting to chain a couple hills together. Abizi, it's your turn to start turning up. He already finds himself in a 5 streak.
Nero is pinching, and he's gonna find 2. This might be a very clean round here for Vegas Legion.
Here's everybody. Is this round nearly done? Nero is all across the map. 7 in a row for him. Locks down his 8th, stays up through it.
So Shotzi plays that really well over towards the back of Dyna. And now Pride can get himself in a position where he can cause absolute havoc.
That free first kill. Shots on the flank. Might have the timing perfect. Wins the first gunfight, wins the second gunfight, stops the zone from getting captured in a highlight reel play. It's a 3v3.
Gotta go. You gotta go. If you're Rocket, you're locking it down. If you're Optic Texas, making 1 kill from Shotzi. Linz, can he find the clean up here? It's Dashy to find 1 more. Can they lock it in in time? It's a 3 versus 12 in the end from Optic.
Nice. I think he might be on Pelly, bro. I don't know. Come here. You're a bad boy. Back up. 2 of them. On B. Yeah, send him on B. On B. Oh my God, Papi.
Right top of me somewhere.
I'm going right.
I'll tell you what, Skies is vibing. It starts with what the opening comm is. You're a bad boy. Then he's gassing Hydra, who's on 6 in a row. They are ripping and roaring.
Guys, we got an incredible listening in that map number 3. Do you mind telling us who on your team is Poppy? I think I heard correctly.
Paquito. Paquito's my papito. I don't know. We usually thrive whenever we're like in a goofy mood like that, so I just try to like just say some funny stuff like that. It just gets them in their flow.
Well, New York looking just as polished and maybe not with as much fun as they were having during those listen-ins from before, but it looks like it's pretty calm and collected through and through. Shift and study as we jump into an invasion control. Jay, this is one of those situations where you're kind of talking about it. Miami 0-4 right now. They had a real tough go of it, and we don't really necessarily look at invasion control saying that it's a guaranteed win by any stretch of the imagination.
Yeah, it's not. The last 2 times they played it, they lost them both to Las Vegas Legion. And the last time that they did play it was the narrow masterclass. They could not shut him down with that driver now when he was pushed up in towards Mannequin. And you best believe when you're playing against the subliners, they got players that same caliber. Hydra and Kismet are going to be able to set that pace. So if you are Miami Heretics, backs against the wall, you are forced to now try to reverse sweep again.
And to try to build maybe a little bit of hope for the local audience that I imagine will be coming out to Miami. And if you have not already considered doing it, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Major 2 starting at the end of the month. And I also saw, just kind of briefly looking through Twitter, that Miami Heretics had not just got approved and got everything going for their Challengers event, but the team passes are meant to be on sale on Monday. So whether you want to join as one of a spectator or one of the players or challengers, make sure you scan the QR code to get your tickets now for the audience bit. And then, of course, make sure you follow the Miami Heretics on Twitter if you want to make sure you have the quickest trigger finger when it comes to buying team passes for your challengers player. But here's kind of the thing with the Heretics is, again, we keep talking about it. Their opening start was like, oh wow, these guys are for real. And then the game changed, they make a roster change, and since then it has not been nearly as good. Have not won a series in their last 6, Jay.
That's tough, man, because 4 out of those 6 series that they played were versus the top 4 teams, and they could not fight with any of them. We're talking about a total of 1-11 map count in those 6 matches versus anyone that's over the top 4. That's not the best. You want to be the best, you have to be able to beat the best. And right here in front of you, you're now trying to beat this Subliners roster who's up 2-0 in the series, and you're going into evasion control, which used to be their bread and butter. Like you said, Subliners don't really play this way.
It will be Miami on the offense first. Attempts to try to stretch through the B zone. Already pushed off. Beekle in trouble, just 14 HP. But has Sib kind of crossed up just a touch. Sloppy gunfight now off the region. Pistols out, and Beekle will keep the efforts towards Miami on B pretty much alive.
Yeah, good stuff for Beekle to win that gunfight. Don't allow your teammates to get put into a trap, but now you have to get a kill because everyone else can't find one. Subliners get 3 in a row. Last player farthest pushed up is going to be Eric Boom, and only 50 seconds left. You cannot rotate over towards A. You have to commit towards B, but Subliners have you in the headlock.
Oh, man. Not good news by any stretch of the imagination. Metals provides a nice moment, though. Double for him, kind of reduces the life lead while also building an opportunity for Miami to get back over towards the zone, and he's not done now. 3 in a row. Lucky following up to stop the spawn trap on the other side of the map. So first tick of progress looking like a lock, and the follow-up kill really should mean the entire zone should come through here. Yeah, that's already the first segment complete. How aggressive the Subline is trying to get, and you already have a player going on a deep pinch in skies. No one has dropped, so you know he has the timing. The rest of your teammates can challenge the front. You can win these gunfights, take him off the point. He at least catches one. He knows there's a couple spawners now behind him. He's able to line up the second one as well. Oh, no.
And Miami Heretics, they're just cutting their losses at B. They're going right over to A.
Yeah, not the second tick even earned. Kismet already contesting. Completely comes out from behind as Lucky will drop to the team shots. And the only thing killing a New York subliner right now is another New York subliner. And I'm not going to lie, Miami just a bit distraught. It's just one of those things like, oh, Skies is on our flank. Let's just let him live there. And that decision has completely costed them. 8 seconds on the clock. Only 1 tick going to get earned here on the opening offense for Miami.
Yeah, that's not good. That is not good. You were set up to deflection to capture B, but everyone tries to get aggressive because you were finding a couple kills around the map, but no one was watching that deep pinch. As Skies at least finds the one to take him off of it, also finds the second into the player on spawn, and then holds down this right side position, keeping Miami in the headlock trap. Because like you said, they only walk away with 1 segment. So if you are the subliners, we can guarantee defense just in case it gets to round number 5 right here. Let's just go B.
Man. At a certain point, you look towards this Miami team and say, can they just kind of keep themselves composed here? Because it's not looked particularly great through this series. There's been moments, like we said. Again, the hard point was close until the last two hills. The search and destroy, we were sitting at a 4-3 tally at one point in time. So they've been competitive at moments in this series, but when it matters most, New York has come through, and now Kismet's in your back line. You've already got Sib stopping the clock with progress happening at B. Eric considering maybe even trying to hit some timing here over towards Dark. That gets shut down. An individual play completely quelled, and now New York are off to the races.
Yeah, they already have the first segment done. And now you have Kismet behind enemy lines. He's trying to find the timing. Unfortunately, doesn't read Eric Boom coming all spawn. But now you're setting up Sib, who finds himself in a nice little 4-3, make it 5 as he finds that kill onto Metals. But second segment is not going to get complete at B. Subliner's doing the same exact thing Miami did, and it comes back to bite them. At least you still have 1 player on the point.
And with that, Kismet will find the first. Third tick being worked on, and if Miami were going to try to contest it, it would have to be from this player at TBD Alley, which Metals does find one pretty cleanly. Hydra pushing him back. Follow-up support coming on the flank now for Miami's defensive regain. Can they get on and actually clear this? Metals and Eric Boom trying to work for it. Lucky off the pitch, and okay. Perfect, flawless re-break coming through. 2 ticks of progress is all that'll happen. And now Beagle's going to get tested over towards bridge side where New York are taking the reference.
Oh, and they can just run right forward. They can just run right through this right street and get onto the point. Vico was the only line of defense for Miami, so Kismet gets the read. He also has the snap onto Eric Boom. As the first segment is starting to get worked on, the subliners are getting all the kills in the feed as well. Kismet doing a great job of dancing around the nades and the stun. The first segment is going to be in. Here comes the double stack. Miami have to not allow this to go down.
Yeah, they need to find a way to get back in quickly. Lucky shut down from behind. Kismet snapping, almost triples it up. Sim, last one left. He will find the player at 1 HP, and the second tick of progress is going to come through, plus the trophy system in. Only one more player to contest, and Vehicle and the pistol will work out, but off spawn, subliners will give themselves an extra 60 seconds as they've gotten back onto B.
Yeah, they're already spawning close over towards B. Miami had to invest a lot to try to get him off of A, but now you have 5 segments if you want the subliner. Just one wave of kills, and this round is going to be yours. Sky starts it off with the first. Here comes the all-out pressure through the back end. Skies is not slowing down. He's so fast with his AR. He finds another. The rest of his teammates do fall. Lee Sips takes down one. He wins another one with the Renetti. So there's an opportunity for them to get on a point. No, it gets shut down as Miami find all the kills. Now they're able to reinforce on the setup.
Minute 15 on the clock. 3 life advantage. Oh boy, Hydra should not have been allowed to get to, and fortunate for Miami, he didn't. Trades are decent here for the Heretics, taking it and keeping it at a relatively small life differential. 60 seconds on the clock, but the subliners still working on repossessing middle of the map.
Yeah, just trying to fight through mid. Vico and Eric Boom do a great job of baiting and switching in towards the cafe to both stay alive. They find a trade onto Sim, so 6v6 in lives remaining with 45 seconds left. This is basically the last good subliner switch that they have. If they can find the kills, even better, as there's no more respawns now for Miami.
Hydra is working around the back. What happens to this player spawning? Yeah, it's going to be Metal spawning up closer towards gas side, but Skies has got this completely pinched up, and the last one standing will be Vehicle. He gives his position up, pistol out for Skies, and the help arrives. I mean, yeah, there's the vibes that we were kind of hearing from Skies and Papito.
Papico Paco. Yeah, nah, they're frying, man. Obviously, you're feeling good. Everything is going right. You're playing maps that you usually don't play. Obviously, you play them in scrims, but finally, you were getting some production and some CDL matches as they find themselves up 2-0 in the series, up 2-0 on the map, going into a defense on invasion, potentially looking for a 3-0 in general.
And the thing is, like, I know it's one of those situations you're dealing with what we consider to be one of the top teams in the league versus one of the bottom teams in the league. Obviously, that reflects in the standings, but it's the way that New York are handling tight moments. You know, yeah, there have been some blowout things here and there that you say, okay, this is clearly a skill gap thing, but, you know, coming through the B zone, finding a way to get their defense set up in round 1, doing the exact same thing, pushing through B and making life hard for Miami trying to regain on their defense. It's just these little split-second decisions are really impressive no matter who the opponent is.
Yeah, that's why they're world champions. That's why they have a ring to their name. They know exactly what it's like to play at the highest level and even win at the highest level. As again, it's this time around, it's going to be Kismet going on that deep pitch. Finds the timing, finds to set up all the kills as that's a clean 4 dead. And now there's no slowing down. Let's instantly put him in the trap.
Everything going to be contested for Miami coming off spawn. Semtex opens up some space at mid, but Kismet backs up, reclaims the ground, no worries. And now Hydra, yep, on your cross. I mean, yeah. What else do you say? Wow. Masterclass.
Yeah, there's just nothing you can do. There's just nothing you can do because New York know exactly what they need to do to hold strong in this setup. 2 players on the right, making sure you're not allowing no one to overextend, and then just playing those tight head glitches towards the middle of the map. It's now Miami have cut their losses. We cannot go B Street. We're trying to go through the middle of the courtyard, and Skies is just cutting them down. Only 25 seconds left. Yeah, this is GG.
Yeah, I mean, and the thing about it is these are some, not to sound too curt about it, but these are some disrespectful challenges from New York. Flat out. Kismet on 6. Now he's got the pistol at 1 HP. He tries to take the challenge. Sky's right there. Yikes. No bueno for Miami. Yep, well, the pain is over for the Heretics. 3-0 in the series, 3-0 in the invasion control. Polished from start to finish.
Subliners are just in a different form this stage, man. We're talking about 4-1 in every single mode. Now, obviously, with the walking away with the 3, that now puts them 5-1 all throughout this stage. They are just getting better and better every time we see them. Even maps that they do not normally play, they are coming out and still getting some blowouts. Like, Subliners will definitely look like one of those contenders at Major 2. But then on the opposite side for Miami, man, like, it's so tough to watch these guys. Like, stage 1, they were one of the best teams at showing the teamwork because they knew the game before everyone else. But then as we enter stage 2, we know that big update came in. We had a whole bunch of new hills, new maps, everything changes. So Miami had to hit the reset button alongside with everyone else. But they have just not been able to catch up to everyone else's playing yet, because that's now 0-5 on the stage. They've only been able to win 4 maps, makes it 5 maps actually out of every single series they have played. Nothing is clicking right now for this new Miami Heretics roster, and this is tough to watch.
It's just so wild, man. And I kind of think about this as you were going through that is like, the reason I think a lot of people were so impressed with Miami at the start of the year, whether they knew the game better or not, they were playing with a level of tempo and aggression that not a lot of other teams were even attempting. Maybe save your Toronto, Atlanta's, and the occasional map here and there from New York, but that has been completely vacant since